Greetings, programs, and finally, welcome back to my office. We have this thing finally set up and ready to go. So, in order to mark this rather momentous occasion of finally doing something I didn't think I'd ever get done, I decided we would also take a look at something else I didn't think I'd ever be able to do. We're going to look at Armada Megatron, the actual Armada guy. And before we get started, major thanks to Robbie from Bay 12 for helping me get a hold of this guy and the figure that we'll be reviewing in the next video. So, link to their Facebook page will be in the description. But anyway, let's get over to the table and we will check this guy out. Alright, so over to the desk now. Before we look at Megatron himself, I figured we'd take a quick second and take a look at Leader 1, his Minicon. Because while I am missing the missiles on this guy, I have his Minicon, and that's the important part. And as you can see, 16-ish years has left him a little bit, a little saggy, shall we say, and floppy, but you get the idea. He's just this weird little missile truck thing. And of course, you know, it's a Armada Minicon. It takes like 12 seconds to transform it. Literally just stand him up and fold up the missiles. And there you go. It's this little dude with a yellow visor. It's really all there is to him. What's important is his Minicon port. For anyone who doesn't know, this was kind of the main gimmick of Armada and a little bit in some of the later seasons. But there's all these ports on this guy. And some of them have little pegs that actually get pushed down when you put a Minicon on there. So, first one we're going to do is right here. Go ahead and put him in there. Then you will actually... Here, let's go ahead and sort of get him back into vehicle mode. But you'll pull down... So, you go ahead, bash him in there, pull down, and push him over at the very end here. Can be a little tricky to do. And it will lock out this second missile launcher. That its buttons are right here. And then if I had the missile for this one, you just pull back right there. So far, the only electronics I can get out of this guy is his light flashing. There is a speaker right down in here. But, I think my batteries just aren't good. They are just Dollar Tree batteries. So, whatever. And then, after you're done with this, you can just push it over and reset it without the Minicon. They do reset on their own, which is nice. But, as you can see, he is just this massive, insane tank. It's got that thing going on where the ratchet doesn't want to sit in the middle. So it's always off to one side or the other, but not a big deal. Funny enough, when I first got him, it was sitting flat, so probably just as I mess with him, eventually it'll go back in the middle again. I don't know. I do plan on taking the turret apart to check out the electronics, see if there's anything that needs repaired. And then down here, he does have his Minicon catcher claws. And they are ridiculous. And yes, you have to like get your hands in there to use them at all. But just kind of a cool little thing. Very much a him feature. On here you've got this little fold out track with a double-sided Minicon port that you can slide up and down depending on where you need the Minicons to be on there. Doesn't really have any purpose, it's just there. Over here is a little platform you can fold out. You're supposed to be able to fit at least some Minicons in there, but yet not even Leader 1 who came with them actually will go in there, even part way. And it's got a little claw right here that slides back and forth. So, almost a base former kind of accessory there, but not quite. On this side, it's just got this weird kind of container. If you look down there, it almost looks like a molded shredder. So I'm going to assume this is what happens when a Minicon isn't a good enough power boost for Megatron. He just shoves them in his leg and grinds them into nothing. But go ahead, close that up, push it back in. And then what's actually probably his funniest but most worthless gimmick, if you pull down on this little button right here, more Minicon ports show up. None of them do anything because they are the gimmick itself, but you get even more Minicon ports. And you have to then carefully close them back up like that. But overall, you know, really, really cool, really big tank mode. And I love this thing. It is so cool. So, transformation on this guy is super simple and will only take a couple seconds, which I do really love. So, as you see, there's two little slots right there, two little tabs there. Go ahead and bring up the foot and lock it in place. Fold down the heel. Same thing on this side. Basically, this isn't a tight lock, it's just kind of a sit lock, if that makes sense. I'm just playing with the double hinge there to get things lined up, then it'll just sit down in place. That's all you really have to do. Go ahead and straighten out the legs. Turn the turret to the side, which really makes it flash. Go ahead and spin the legs around. Stand him up. Adjust the camera. Go ahead and pull down on this if it hasn't, you know, happened on its own. It's supposed to be all the way up there, but pull down. Reveal the face. And then on each side, you'll open up the panel. And then come in here and fold out the hand. And there you have Armada Megatron in robot mode. So, technically to finish him off, you will pull up an arm and swing the cannon onto his hip like that. But, really quick before we get into all the normal posability and stuff, there's one thing to kind of get out of the way on this guy, and that's his super mode. It's dumb, frankly. It's the only thing I don't like about this figure. So you're going to start, take the upper torso, pull it up, T-pose him just to get the arms out of the way, fold the turret all the way back, rotate it around, and then close him back up. And then here's where you detach a Minicon here, you know, whip all this stuff out and around. And then you would actually put another one in here, and that unlocks this one. It doesn't spin around all the way, but it will kind of push to the side as you use this as your turning point, and it'll make this flash. I'm sure there's a sound that's supposed to happen, but all it does is make this flash on mine. And there's also a little turn lever right here you can come in and get a hold of, so you can spin that as well to make the turret go around. It's all kind of goofy, but, you know, I'm sure, well, heck, it was, back in the day, really cool to have all these kind of gimmicks. So, go ahead, put this back, and the one thing to know when you return this guy to this mode, there's this little clip right here. You need to make sure that that goes over this little lever as you close him up. So, go ahead, get that locked in place. Get everything back in position. And apparently I closed up his faceplate in that process. So, posability wise, he does have a pretty good, very loud rotation at the shoulder, as well as an outward movement right down there. 90 degrees at the elbow. And then This fist has wrist rotation. It's got, as you can see, a more normal style fist. This one, the fingers are actually spring-loaded, because these ones have their own gimmick, where right here, no minicon needed, but you can push forward on this minicon port, and he becomes Shankatron. I love entire tank turret right here. Shank knife. Like, it's so pointless, but still kind of funny that it's there. And really, that's actually all the posability you get in this guy. You can turn the head, all the way around, actually, as long as you keep his, horns out of the way. But the legs are pretty much static. Really, all you can do is move them out a little bit, and you can bend them in at the knee. So he can do like a pirouette or something, but you don't get this guy for the posability. You get him for how stinking awesome he looks. Now, I will throw up some pictures to size comparison him alongside Cybertron and Energon Megatron, because these guys are just too big to do real side-by-side comparisons, unfortunately. But overall, yeah, this guy is really, really awesome, despite his limitations, and definitely something I recommend adding to your collection if you get a chance. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.